Hi, my name is Sofia, and today I'm going to be talking about how I use the tool forgiveness to overcome feeling upset or resentment with someone. I'm going to talk about an experience I had with a really close friend of mine. This story is really personal, but I've found that it's the one that's made me grow the most as a person. I had a best friend, like most people, and if you know, high school changes friendships very quickly, and it's very hard to maintain one steady throughout. But I personally had a best friend who meant the world to me. She knew me like more than anyone else on this planet, and it was a very deep relationship that we had together. However, there did come a time where our schedules started changing. I found that mine was a little more open and flexible than hers was, and that caused me to build some resentment because we had different ways of communicating our love, and it was a struggle to find a way to compromise in those situations. I found that my love language was seeing her in person and talking with her, spending quality time together. And I found that hers was more of like communicating over the phone, texting, but texting constantly and every day. And that was something we struggled with because we both didn't really know how we felt about the other's love language. And that caused conflicts between us. There were many times where things were miscommunicated. There were many times where we would go days without speaking. Not being able to communicate with someone I loved was really painful for me. It made me feel resentment for that person, but also feeling like I wasn't worthy or that I wasn't doing enough to compensate on my own end. And I ended up feeling worse about myself in the relationship than I was feeling better. I found that yes, the times we were together were amazing and fun, and I felt really loved and cared about. But the times we weren't, I found myself doubting who I was as a person and my worth as an individual. It was something that didn't make me feel good, more times than it did make me feel good. So how I use the tool forgiveness, that friendship did end, not on very good terms, but on hers. It was something that I wanted to keep working on, something she didn't. It's totally understandable, but I found that all the feelings of worthlessness that I felt for myself, I started projecting onto her, and that I carried this burden of me of like what our friendship used to be, and it turned out to be something really painful. But over time, I learned to let go of what was, but I also learned to forgive her as a person. She had always been open with me about the fact that she didn't have time for our friendship. It wasn't something she was trying to hide. And I forgave her for ending it because I knew that both of us were struggling at the time. I do hope in the future to connect back with her, but I know that it will only happen if it's on her terms, and I am completely okay with that. I also have now realized that because I have forgiven, I am more peaceful as an individual. I have learned that I feel less weighted by this grudge I have against someone that I used to care for. And yes, I still care about her as a friend, but I care about myself more, and I know that this is something good for me, and whatever the universe has planned, they have planned. That was what the universe had done for me, and I think it was a blessing in disguise.